There was a time when these dishes appeared everywhere in America. At Sunday dinners, church potlucks, neighborhood restaurants, family celebrations, and on dinner tables across the country. Then, almost without anyone noticing, many of them disappeared. Some fell victim to changing tastes. Others belonged to an era of canned ingredients, elaborate dinner parties, and recipes passed down from generation to generation. And a few might make you wonder why anyone stopped eating them in the first place. So open the old recipe box. Here are 10 classic American dishes you rarely see anymore. And if you grew up with one of these, tell us in the comments. 10. Chicken a la king. Once upon a time, chicken a la king was considered elegant. Tender pieces of chicken were served in a rich cream sauce with mushrooms, peppers and often peas, then spooned over toast, biscuits, rice or pastry. By the 1950s, it had become a fixture of American home cooking. It looked sophisticated enough for company but was practical enough for a family dinner. Today, you can go years without seeing it on a restaurant menu. But for an earlier generation, chicken a la king was everywhere. 9. Tuna noodle casserole. Few dishes scream mid-century America quite like this one. Egg noodles, canned tuna, creamy condensed soup, and something crunchy on top. Tuna noodle casserole was inexpensive, filling and incredibly easy to make. That made it perfect for busy families during the 1950s and 60s. It became a weeknight dinner staple and a familiar sight at church suppers and potlucks. People still make it today, of course. But its days as an American dinner table superstar have largely passed. 8. Creamed chipped beef on toast. It wasn't fancy. But generations of Americans knew exactly what it was. Thin pieces of dried beef were cooked in a thick white cream sauce and poured over toast. The dish became especially familiar to American servicemen, and versions of it later found their way into countless homes. It was cheap, warm, filling, and incredibly simple. Today, it's much harder to find. But mention creamed chipped beef to the right generation, and you're likely to unlock a memory. 7. Ambrosia salad. Calling this a salad might confuse anyone who didn't grow up with it. Ambrosia could contain oranges, pineapple, coconut, marshmallows, cherries and creamy ingredients. It was sweet, colorful, and for decades, it appeared at American holidays, family gatherings and potlucks. Every family seemed to have its own version. Today, ambrosia survives in some homes, particularly in the South, but it's nowhere near as universal as it once seemed. 6. Liver and onions. There was a time when liver and onions was ordinary American dinner food. The liver was fried or sautéed and served beneath a pile of cooked onions. For some people, it was comfort food. For others, it was the dinner they dreaded seeing on the table. As American tastes changed, organ meats became much less common in everyday home cooking. And liver and onions slowly went from familiar dinner to something many younger Americans have never even tried. 5. Salisbury steak. No, it wasn't exactly steak. Salisbury steak was usually made from seasoned ground beef formed into patties and served with rich brown gravy, often with mushrooms and onions. It became deeply associated with mid-century cafeterias and frozen TV dinners. But the dish is much older than that. Its roots stretch back to the 19th century. Today, Salisbury steak hasn't completely disappeared. But its glory days as an American household staple are definitely behind it. 4. Tomato aspic. Now things get interesting. Imagine tomatoes inside a savory gelatin mold. Tomato aspic was once considered sophisticated enough for luncheons and dinner parties. Gelatin dishes became enormously fashionable in 20th century America, especially once packaged gelatin and home refrigeration made elaborate molds easier to prepare. Vegetables, meat and seafood could all end up suspended inside shimmering gelatin. Today, savory gelatin is one of the foods most associated with America's strange mid-century culinary experiments. And tomato aspic is rarely invited back to dinner. 3. Chicken divan chicken. Broccoli. Creamy sauce. Cheese. Chicken divan began as a restaurant dish but eventually became a casserole favorite in American homes. It had exactly what mid-century cooks loved. It felt elegant, but could be made conveniently at home. For decades, variations appeared at dinner parties and family tables. You can certainly still find chicken divan today. But compared with its mid-century popularity, it has quietly faded into the recipe books. 2. Welsh rarebit. Despite the name, there is no rabbit involved. Welsh rarebit is essentially a rich, seasoned cheese sauce served over toasted bread. The dish originated in Britain, but it became familiar enough in America to appear in cookbooks and on restaurant menus. It was simple, satisfying and surprisingly elegant for something built around cheese and toast. Today, grilled cheese conquered the American imagination. Welsh rarebit? Not so much. 1. Jell-O salad. And finally, the undisputed symbol of America's mid-century dinner table. Jell-O salad. Fruit could go inside. Vegetables could go inside. Cottage cheese could go inside. Sometimes things went inside that probably should never have met gelatin at all. By the 1950s and 60s, colorful gelatin molds had become fixtures at parties, potlucks and family dinners. They represented convenience, creativity and the futuristic appeal of packaged foods. Eventually, tastes changed. And the towering gelatin creations slowly disappeared. But open an old American cookbook, and they'll still be waiting for you. Food is more than something we eat. It's memory. A smell from your grandmother's kitchen. A dish your mother made every Sunday. Something you complained about as a child, and strangely miss today. So here's the question. Which of these dishes did your family actually make? And more importantly, what classic American dish did we forget to include? Tell us in the comments. And subscribe for more forgotten foods, places, traditions and everyday memories from the America we grew up with.